"Daddy!" It was years since anyone had called him that. Peter looked round to see where the voice had come from. There was nobody to be seen. He was in a long corridor. The walls were lined with white tiles, with a row of dark green ones at about waist height. He somehow knew that it was a hospital, but it wasn't the John Radcliffe where Crystal worked. How had he got here? "Daddy!" the voice called again. It was coming from a door far away at the end of the corridor. He knew now that it was Hannah. That must be why he didn't recognise this place. It must be in Leeds, where she lived with her husband and children. But how had he got there? He hurried forward, but the door seemed to recede as he went, so that it was just as far away as ever. A woman in theatre scrubs appeared from nowhere and thrust what looked like a scene of crime suit at him. "You'll have to wear this if you're going in," she said brusquely. He tried to obey, but before he could get his legs into the suit, another woman pounced on him from the other side, brandishing a respirator mask, of the sort that he'd seen firefighters using years ago when he'd been a uniformed constable. "Put this on. We can't have you going in without a mask." He seemed to be surrounded by people intent on forcing him into protective clothing. His heart raced as he tried to follow their instructions. All the time he could hear Hannah calling to him, and another voice, a child's voice, Ricky's perhaps, reciting, "Keep apart 2 meters, keep apart 2 meters." How could he keep apart when they were all crowding in on him? Then suddenly they were all gone, and he was standing at the end of the corridor, looking in through the glass window in the door of a hospital room. There was a bed with all sorts of equipment around it, and there was Hannah, lying there with an oxygen mask over her face. He put out his hand to open the door, but a nurse leapt out from somewhere on the right and barred his way. "You can't go in without gloves on." "But we've run out of gloves," he heard himself protest. "You can't go in without gloves," the nurse repeated. "Daddy! Daddy!" "I've got to go in. She's my daughter." "She can't really be your daughter," came a voice from behind him. "She's black." "She is mine, and she needs me." "Only if you're wearing gloves," the nurse said implacably. "But we can't get any." "Then you can't go in." "Daddy! Daddy!" Peter woke up with a start. He lay there waiting for his heart to slow down to its normal pace, and trying to adjust his thoughts to reality. He must check with Bernie in the morning whether she had managed to order any more disposable gloves.